Video games should be easy.
This is Steve Shives, a human that likes to talk about things like this and prefers he/him pronouns. And Steve had a take about video game difficulty settings, and I'm going to mock he/him for that take.
That's it.
Subscribe to Slambagad.
There are people in the world who play video games on the highest level of difficulty, and I do not understand this.
Why not?
I'm not a gamer, but that doesn't keep me from having strongly held opinions about video games, and one of those opinions is this: video games should be easy.
Agree to disagree.
This really should be the end of the video, because what a cretinous thing to say. Many games have an easy setting, and if he/him is not quote-unquote a gamer, then what difference does it make to he/him if a game is easy and therefore boring to me, and I want to make it more of a challenge?
I don't even remember the last time I played a video game on anything other than the easiest setting. Why are those other difficulty settings even there? Everyone's different. I realize that. Tastes vary. So I can't truthfully say that people who want difficult video games are wrong. All I can say is I don't get it.
Difficulty settings give games
replay value.
I love Hitman and just completed it on Master Mode, and as well as general guard attentiveness, they remove windows and other objects, and this forces me to explore and discover more about it, so enriches the experience. Some games have one setting but more objectives to offer a deeper experience. Tetris is simple and has no settings, but if the blocks didn't drop faster the more points you get, it would be boring and likely not the
biggest selling game of all time.
I've had it explained to me, I understand it on an intellectual level, but I don't get it.
You understand it rationally, but you don't get it? Maybe you need a dictionary to understand what intellectually means.
Once I asked a friend of mine who plays a lot of video games what they get out of playing games that are hard to beat, and they told me, I like the challenge.
Oh, quelle surprise.
So you do get it. You're just a snob, or one of your hobbies is shitting on other people's hobbies.
And I said, oh, I get that. You're way too invested in video games.
You've got to be joking.
Did you forget you have superhero action figures right behind you while telling people they're too invested in their hobby?
It's ironic, isn't it?
You play video games on a higher level of difficulty because you like the challenge. You know what I do when I feel like a challenge?
Try to open a jar without a rubber glove?
I lead my life. I'm not telling you my life is exceptionally challenging, by the way. It's not.
I'm just a massive wuss.
And the truth shall set you free!
Some things in life are unavoidably hard. There's nothing you can do to make them easier. You just have to endure the best you can. But if there is a way to make something easier, I'd like it to be as easy as possible.
Please?
The way you make anything easier is
Practice.
Does Steve wear a diaper because it's easier than using a toilet?
Shut up!
If there were more people like Steve, we would not have complex language and we'd sound like Tom Hardy in every fucking movie.
Before all you righteously indignant gamers come at me, accusing me of shitting on video games as a medium, that's not what I'm doing. I understand why you might be upset. If you thought that's what I was doing, you love an art form that isn't widely respected or taken seriously. Hey, I'm a pro wrestling fan, okay? I get it.
I know Steve's being facetious because he/him is smart enough to know that games bring in more revenue than movies and music combined.
And I'm not fucking indignant, I just hate your face and the dumb opinions.
Chillax.
Also, if you put wrestling's revenue next to games...
Embarrassing.
All I'm saying is, if I play your video game with the beautifully written story on the highest difficulty setting, I'm probably not going to make it to your impeccably crafted and deeply resonant ending.
Steve's not a gamer, so why is he/him acting that if he/him did play a story-driven game, that he/him would only want to get to the end? Steve likes wrestling and Angel, but what's the point? It's all predetermined. Why do humans bother doing anything when it's all planned and scripted? It's the mother-humping journey, Steve.
That's right.
You can see on Steam with each level in any game the percentage lowers for people that completed it, and I think it's sad because it means that most people never finish something they've paid for. It's probably too hard for some people, and I suspect people like Steve are just not willing to be bad at something because they don't like the way it makes them feel. But when you beat a game on a hard setting, you get
nice, warm, vibrating feeling all through your gutty woods.
If a story is intellectually or emotionally challenging, I can do that. I'm all about that. But if it's technically challenging, Fuck that Who wants to watch a movie where you can't get to the next scene unless you're able to push the right buttons in the right order fast enough?
That's like saying who wants to play a non-interactive game. That's not a game, and movies are passive experiences by design.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were having a state the obvious contest.
In recent years, most of the games I've played have been mobile games.
Now it makes sense. Wrestling, action figures, and mobile games.
I'm on to you.
One is a game called Flow Free, which is a puzzle game where you connect the same color dots on a board. The other is a collection of solitaire games, which I use mostly to play free cell. Know what these two games have in common? They're both easy as shit.
I think it's terrific. You know, I know nothing about video games, and I found what you just said riveting.
I have yet to play a free cell game on anything other than easy mode. And guess what? I've never lost. I have a perfect record.
Good for you.
Being able to win the game is one of the main reasons I enjoy playing the game.
If that's true, then what's the reason you said this?
What's my benefit for playing a difficult game? I get angry and quit, and then I'm all annoyed for a while over nothing? Or I get angry and don't quit and eventually beat the game, and what? I get to say I beat the game? As long as it was all worth it, I guess.
There's no need to guess. You said winning is important to your enjoyment, so don't you think maybe if it's a little bit harder, you might get more enjoyment from winning?
Answer is a hard no.
There's a great episode of Twilight Zone where the guy thinks he's in heaven because he always wins the bet, but comes to realise he's in hell because without the possibility of losing, there's no risk or excitement, and so the win doesn't satisfy.
Food for thought.
Not only do I play Doom 2 on the easiest skill level, I load that fucker up with cheat codes. And now that I mention it, that's another thing about video games I don't get. Why are there cheat codes? Why isn't this stuff just checkboxes in the settings menu? God mode? Yes, please. Check. Infinite ammo? Don't mind if I do. Check.
He/him wants it as easy as possible, and now
God mode.
to make it completely devoid of any resistance or tension or excitement.
He's a boring fuck.
I was stuck on RAF Escalation Level 2 in Hitman for about 12 hours, and it was very frustrating, but if I had
God mode.
then the good feeling I got from completing something hard would have been non-existent.
The easier it is, the more fun it is.
Drinking a glass of water is easy, but it's also
Boring.
How does it make any sense to make killing Nazis more difficult?
Steve would love Guy Ritchie's latest movie. It makes killing Nazis look super duper easy.
I imagine some of you are thinking, shit, Steve, it sounds like you just suck at playing video games. Yes! That's it, exactly!
Sounds more like you don't enjoy the act of playing for the sake of it and slowly improving. And also, I don't understand how you could be so bad at games considering
When I was a kid, I was much more of a gamer. This was back in the olden days of 8-bit gaming consoles. I liked playing all of those games, but you know what would have made me like them even more? If they weren't so fucking hard to beat that they made me whip the controller at the TV in repeated acts of impotent
Pre-adolescent rage.
the reason 8-bit games were hard was because the arcades that preceded them were designed to be hard to suck the coins from your pockets, and the devs carried on that practice without much thought.
And also,
People that mastered the hard arcade games wouldn't be satisfied if the console games were too easy, so it makes perfect sense to have difficulty settings.
I loved playing video games and devoted much of my free time to it, especially during the summer when I was out of school and my friends and I could visit each other and spend
all day playing.
Then how are you not better than the average person if you grew up with hard 8-bit games that you played all day? Considering Shadow of the Tomb Raider has these options. And fuck me! Dishonored 2 has way too much choice, but it's because they're trying to please as many people as possible. And even though this game can be adjusted to be super duper easy, Steve would still say,
It's too hard.
Steve seems like a nice guy and I think I might enjoy some of his videos, but this face has participation trophy written all over it.
Game over. Game over.
Like the bloody video.